Wait lang.
Okay,
Nag-message lang ako sa team
live na
namin na
tayo.
mag-online na sila.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Patch Dulay. I am the founder and CEO of the SparkProject.com, the Philippines' only crowdfunding website and community for creative, conscious enterprises. And welcome to Spark Conversations. It's a show for entrepreneurs who see entrepreneurship differently. It's for creative and conscious individuals who are driven to find a way to make money while doing good. It's also for people who have chosen the path of purpose and the life's work that creates sustainable and meaningful impact in the world. It's also for supporters of local talent and conscious consumers who believe that collectively our mindful choices can make a big difference. So here at Spark Conversations, we pick the brains of social entrepreneurs, creators, innovators, and startup founders as they share about their life's work and what sparks them. So for our conversation this afternoon, we want to talk about unmessing. Now that we're stuck at home during this quarantine, we find ourselves accumulating and even unearthing so much clutter, dirt, and mess, not only in our homes, but also within ourselves and even our businesses. And our guest for this afternoon is the perfect person to talk about cleaning messy things. We have with us Maan Sikam. She's a social entrepreneur, a friend of the Spark Project, and the co-founder of Happy Helpers. So if we think that our episode this afternoon is just about cleaning your home, you are mistaken. That's just scratching the surface. So tune in as we talk about other messy stuff and cleaning stuff. But yeah, also we just don't want to talk and talk like me and Maan this afternoon. We want to hear from you during or throughout the show. So don't just listen in. You can make your presence felt through your comments and reactions. So we are live on Facebook. You can use the comment section to ask any questions or share insights during this afternoon. And if you like what we're talking about, feel free to click the like button and please show us some love by clicking the heart reaction so that please make your presence felt. Right. So let me bring in our guest for this afternoon, Maan. Let's all welcome her. Let's all welcome her here. Hi, Maan.
Hi, Patch. Hi.
Hello,
How are you
welcome,
today?
welcome. Good, welcome to the show. Welcome to Spark Conversation. So nice to have you here. So how have you been? How have you been, and how are you coping during this lockdown? Diretso
We've
sa
been well,
question.
so I'm well. Okay, we've been well. I'm at home, stuck. I'm stuck at home like you, but the difference is I have four kids at home. I have 4 kids here plus my husband. So during the day, we're all separately locked up in our own rooms as my children still have school. So they're doing their schools online. But at least we get to still see each other during lunch. And I guess that's the advantage of being in the house, no? Hindi dinner lang, at least we get to see each other, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No, so my kids are still busy. They're finishing their school by this week and next. So
Okay.
so after this week and next, I ask me again how I am.
No cabin fever.
Wala pa naman. Actually, I was able to go out last week for the first time to do grocery. So I borrowed my husband's quarantine pass and went to my happy place. I went to the grocery.
Grocery.
Yeah.
So the reason why I wanted to invite you to Spark Conversation is because the topic of today is about unmessing things, and I think that you're really the perfect person to do that, especially with what you do with Happy Helpers. So for the benefit of everybody tuning in right now who's not familiar with Happy Helpers, can you tell us more about Happy Helpers and why you decided to spark it?
Okay. So Happy Helpers is a professional home cleaning social enterprise. We started the business. My partner and I started the business 5 years ago. The ideation itself started in 2014 when I came back from living abroad for 6 years. So for 6 years, I was a full-time mom, a full-time wife, a full-time driver, full-time cook, full-time everything. So we lived in London for 4 years and then 2 years in Brazil. So when I came back in 2014, I felt like I wanted to bring that expat life home, no, not having anyone else in the house, because my children were growing up to be more independent, and I wanted to maintain that. So I was looking for a company that could give me, whether it was an individual or a company that could give us part-time help, meaning pupunta lang sa bahay maybe once or twice a week to help with the chores around the house. But I couldn't find what I was looking for. So that's where the idea came from. Parang if I couldn't find it, might as well start my own, start one.
How was the process like? Was it difficult to start it at the beginning, or was it easy for you to put things together and start Happy Helpers?
I would say both. No, it was easy and difficult. It was easy because I found that when I was, you know me, Patch. I like talking to people. Madaldal ako, in short, right? So I talked to my friends about it, and I talked to different people about it, and everybody liked the idea. So that gave me a lot of encouragement. Now, okay, not doing any market research or business plan or numbers about it. The fact that there were a lot of people interested in the concept really gave me that push or the motivation to start the company. Parang hindi nawala yung spark in me to start it, because I really hear a lot of words of encouragement. But it was difficult at the same time because because it was such a new concept. I couldn't figure out what type of business model or what type of or ways to go about it. Parang there were a lot of trial and error on my end, because it's just really hard to start a business here in the Philippines. But then again, I felt along the way that if what you're doing is something that is good, then things will fall to fall into place and fall into place or go your way, because I kept talking to the right people. Parang when I ask for help, all of a sudden someone actually has the answer for me. So when we started pitching the idea to different people by the end of 2014, a certain group of ladies encouraged me to just say, they just told me, just start it. What's stopping
Go for
you?
it.
Just start
Yeah.
it. Go for it. I mean, you don't have to be a big company overnight. So you
Mhm.
just do it. So parang,
Mhm.
o nga, no? Parang,
Yeah.
it was hard not to start the business when you receive such words of
Encourage.
encouragement. Oo, oo.
And you consider, or you are a social enterprise. So from the very beginning, was that already the intention when you were thinking of setting up a cleaning company?
No, no. In fact, I didn't. Since I just came back, I was away for 6 years, and I just came back. The concept of social enterprise, I totally missed it. Like I was not here when it was born or it was growing in the Philippines, because I think it started in 2007 or 8 when
Mhm.
Rags to Riches, Messy Bessie, all those companies started.
Yeah.
I wasn't living. I wasn't here in the country, so the the concept of social enterprise was very alien to me. In my mind, if you start a social enterprise, then it means you're a charity, or
Mhm.
you're not gonna make money out of it. And I didn't want that. I wanted the business. I wanted
Uh-huh.
to make money, diba? But
So how
so
did
yeah,
you get
it's
into
just
that?
really,
How did you get into that
how did I
story of
get.
social entrepreneurship? How were you exposed to that?
Well, I guess it's also because of the friends I was surrounded with. One of our
Uh-huh.
partners, Meme Mendoza, has been working with social enterprises for the last 15 years already. But when we started the company, she was the first. She was one of the first people to really encourage me to start the business, and then she was the one who showed me, parang, you can make it into a social enterprise. So Meme then introduced me to a very nice group of ladies. Their group is called Geconomics. So they're like the livelihood arm of Gawad Kalinga.
Mhm.
And these ladies were the one who told me, when you help people, you can become a social enterprise. So it's just from those words of encouragement as well made me realize na why not? Bakit nga
Mhm.
hindi? 'Di ba? Bakit
Mhm.
nga hindi? Why not turn the business into a social enterprise? And I guess when we started and we saw how we can help our community and our beneficiaries, it was really then hard to look away and say, no, I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
Parang,
Yeah.
I guess it made you realize na, oh, pwede pala ako magkaroon ng business and help people at the same time. So it was hard to veer away
Mhm.
from that.
Yeah, so speaking of helping people, when we talk about social enterprise, we talk about beneficiaries and communities that your enterprise also engage with as partners. So for happy helpers, what or who do you consider your community, or what
Mm.
makes it social?
Okay. So the 90% of our beneficiaries right now are actually mothers. Again, it wasn't intentional at the beginning, meaning we were just thinking of providing livelihood for those people who were looking to augment their income. No? Kasi we all know that the minimum wage here in Metro Manila is not sufficient for the living expenses in Metro Manila. So what we were offering the community is a way to augment their income. So over the last 5 years, we realized as well na mas nakaka-relate kami personally on a personal level, and the business model that we have been able to set up relates more to mothers, because with happy helpers, they can earn significant income and yet still have time for their family, which is something that is precious to them. As mothers, they still have responsibilities for their homes, they have responsibilities for their children, which is actually the hurdle, getting that getting that extra
Mhm.
income. Kasi you have to balance your time. Eh. With most job opportunities here in Metro Manila, it's you have to choose it. Either you work or you take care of your household. So with Happy
Right.
Helpers, we provide that flexibility for them. If you can work when you have time, and you don't need to work when you don't have time.
Mhm.
I think that's the priceless part of the
Mhm.
benefit that we're giving them.
Mhm. So in a way, like you designed your social enterprise in such a way that it fits the the needs and the lifestyle
Of
of mothers in depressed communities. Is that
urban poor
the
communities, yes.
urban poor communities?
Yes, yes.
Right.
So
So yeah, go ahead.
no, so for example, in our current setup, so the community where we are in is in Taguig, which is very close to BGC, Makati, Pasig. So it enables them to have a job na malapit lang din sa kanila. They don't have to travel hours to get to their job, and they can get home immediately as well. So our working hours is only just 5 hours a day. So they're home in time before their kids actually come home from school.
Mhm.
So it still gives
fits.
them the flexibility. Yes, yes, yes. It fits.
Kumbaga, they can still be a mother and like take care of household related things at the same time, earn a living or help in augment the expenses of the household.
Yes, 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 yes. Kasi yung napansin din namin, most of the things that they don't have a budget for would be school. Yung
Mhm.
they call it when we when we had it, this is just funny because when we were starting, we would always ask them, so where do you use your money? We wanted to know how they were spending the money that they were earning, and the answer would always be pang project po. So it's just the concept of anong ibig sabihin nun? We just couldn't understand what pang project po means.
Mm.
But it's because they don't have their own computers, so they have to rent computer time. They have yung those little things add up. Renting computer time, extra bond paper,
Mhm.
things that they need to bring for school. Those things add up, and really they don't have a budget from that from their husbands. So
Right.
parang that's the first one. The second one would be when somebody gets sick. When somebody gets sick, you need to go to the doctor, you need medicine, and there's no savings for that. Normally they would uutang na sila because those are things that they just don't really have a budget for.
And when I was looking through your profile and Happy Helpers profile, I see that in your describing Happy Helpers, you talk about unmessing people's lives. Right. So what do you mean by that?
Okay. So we just talked about our beneficiaries. Now we go talk about our clients or our customers. When we were starting, when Joe and I, my partner's name is Joe and Daya. When we were starting the business, 5 years ago, early 2015, syempre kaming dalawa lang. We literally were in her house, in her garage. That was it. That was our office. Para akala mo Silicon Valley, but we were literally in her garage. All our equipment was there, and we didn't hire. We were testing out the business, so we didn't hire anyone. And we were the ones who personally would answer all our clients' inquiries, get the calls and everything. And from when we started up to now, we realized that when our clients call us, especially the first-time clients, they don't just want to talk about the house that needs to be cleaned, but for them, there is a need to explain why. Why
Mhm.
do I need to have this housing? Not because they're justifying the service
it's
or
messy.
why it's
Why
it's
their
not
house is
about
messy.
no, but I realize it's not about explaining why it's messy, but they want to be understood. I think that's one thing that they need. It's not just about please help me clean my house, but it's please help me because so and so and so. Like they want us to understand what they're going through, and most of the time we do because both Joe and I are mothers. We both lived abroad, so we know how it is to manage our own house, we know how it is how to clean our own homes, how to manage children and husbands and the house and the groceries and the bills all at the same time. So when our clients talk to us, nakaka-relate kami or naiintindihan namin yung problema nila. So we realized we're not just cleaning their house, but we're helping them unmess or untangle the mess in their heads as well. Na, you know, I have a problem with this because I don't have time to do this. My kids have allergies. How do I prevent that? So we are able to provide help in other aspects, not just the physical cleaning of their homes as well. Parang, okay, thank you for relieving me of at least that certain part of the problems that I have.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned about cleaning and how a while ago before we went live, we were talking about how your surroundings really affect your headspace and how it affects how you operate. How has Happy Helpers siguro helped in terms of helping your clients organize their thoughts, or like has that been some of the parang benefits
But yeah,
about,
definitely.
you know, parang engaging with them? What things have you, I guess, share with us some anecdotes of your clients, parang happy clients because of your service. You were able to not just unmess their surroundings, but really also unmess like bigger thing and like things beyond just like what's around them or in their space.
So I can state two examples. One example is a literal uncluttering. No? So we had a client who had a collection of shoes, pero all of his shoes were just in boxes, and the boxes are still just cluttered in one area of his home. So when we came in, we can't just leave those boxes lying around in his storage. We had to organize, clean the space and organize it. So in that case, he was so happy na nakita niya, okay, that's one way. Kasi he's a collector, but he doesn't know how to organize all of his shoe collection. So that's one way we were able to help him at least sort out all the collections that we have. So that's one physical example. But one also nice example, and we've had several clients like this as well, are those young professionals who would like to take care of their own parents. So we had this client who's actually based in Singapore. So she's moved out of her home. She's based in Singapore. She saw us online, no, and was talking to us through email and text messages because she wanted us to take care of her parents. Kasi her parents were already old and they were living by themselves. And of course, because she's not there to help them clean up their space or do other chores around the house, then she called us and explained everything. Can you do this for us? Can you help us? You know, she also had to explain, my mom is sick, so she can't do this, so she's allergic to this and that. So we were able to help her or ease her mind na, you know, someone's taking care of your parents while you're in Singapore. Someone's taking care of them. Someone's looking out for them while you're in Singapore.
You're giving them peace of mind that, you know, we're taking care.
Exactly.
Of like making sure that the houses of your parents are clean, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's go back to the nanays or to the mothers in terms of also going back to the unmessing. Does Happy Helpers also part of its mission is also to unmess the lives of your beneficiaries? Or is there a relationship with your mission of unmessing people's lives? Is your beneficiaries or your community, the nanays, also part of that mission?
Hello?
Are you still here?
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear
Yeah, can
me?
you hear
Yes,
me?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you
Yes.
Yes, can you
Yeah,
repeat
let
the
me
last
repeat it.
part?
Medyo magulo. So we talk about unmessing. We're unmessing the lives of your clients. But how about your mothers or the nanays that are part of your community? Does Happy Helpers also, help in unmessing their lives? Of course, being a social enterprise, how does that play out in terms of how the unmessing mission of Happy Helpers translate to the mothers?
Okay. So our company's mission for these mothers is really to help them see a better version of themselves. And what does that mean? Over the years, we've realized that, and sa totoo lang, I can personally relate to this as I have experienced this before. Once you start, once you have children, um, you you stop dreaming for yourself. So
Mhm.
I was a full-time mom. I did not have a career. I did not have work. Um, when I had when we were living abroad, it made me question what was that whole education for? What did I what did that 4 years of what was the 4 years of university for if I'm just gonna cook, clean, and take care of my children? So it made me question my whole self-esteem, my whole being, kung baga. Parang, ito na lang ba gagawin ko? But that's the thing, that became the stigma in our society na housewife ka lang.
Mhm.
We've equated our self-esteem with the value of money that we are putting in our pockets. Since mothers don't earn anything with the work that they do, then they don't have value. They don't see their own value. And when we started in this company, I saw myself in these women na
Mhm.
nung nagsisimula kami, ini-interview namin sila. So anong pangarap mo? Yung pangarap ko po, yung makatapos po yung mga anak ko. Yung pangarap ko po, yung anak ko ay ganito. So all their dreams are for their children. Wala silang pangarap para sa sarili na. And then you ask them why, and the answer would always be, kasi matanda na po ako. So 30 years
Mhm.
old pa lang yung kausap ko. Sinasabi na niya na matanda na siya. I was deeply offended. I was 35 at that time. So I was deeply offended na sinabi niya matanda na siya. So, but it's just, for me, it's quite sad to hear that. To hear a 30-year-old say, matanda na ako and therefore ang pangarap ko para sa mga anak ko na lang. And then you also have stories of their own self-esteem being valued, or ang value ng self-esteem nila ay kung ano yung sinabi ng nanay nila or sinabi ng kanilang neighbor. No?
Mhm.
So it's quite hard they don't even understand themselves, and they don't appreciate themselves. So how do we unmess the lives of our own beneficiaries? We also try to show them what their value is.
Mhm.
And it's a very big concept. It's a very hard concept. So we found 4 steps. No, I think I
Okay.
mentioned this to you before in our school before.
Go ahead,
We
share it.
formulated yes, we formulated the 4 steps and this we really do in our trainings
Right.
because we try to, as much as possible, make our trainings holistic. The first step is to really clear the negativity. When you live in a community where the norm is chismisan, awayan, or gutom and violence, there's a lot of negativity in their surroundings. So their outlook on life is very negative. So we do exercises on clearing negativity. So we do meditations. My partner is a yoga teacher, so that really helps. So we do yoga exercises when we do our monthly trainings and even their daily exercises. So very important, clearing the negativity. Next is filling them with positivity. And then next is showing them how to dream for themselves,
Right.
to appreciate themselves, to give gratitude to themselves. And that, in a way, would, uplift their own self-esteem. And the fourth step would be guiding them to plan. Kasi ito na nga, may pangarap na sila para sa sarili nila, pero hindi nila alam kung ano yung step 1. We need to still guide them. Ano ba yung first step, no? Because we always tell them, bakit itong mga mahirap hindi nag-iipon? Because it's not common sense for them. So we have to tell them why. We have to make them understand why you need to save money, why you can't splurge when you get, income. So everything needs to be explained, kumbaga.
Yeah, and guide them, no, through the process.
Yeah, guiding them in that process. Kasi hindi malinaw sa kanila yon eh. Hindi siya automatic for them. And even us, we don't, we don't know how to plan our own lives.
Right,
so let alone them who've never had to dream for themselves.
Okay. We happy helpers. So we've been talking about saying unmessy actually the whole time. But another thing that a lot of people don't know about your company or about your mission statement, it's not just unmessing people's lives, but delivering happiness. That's why it's happy helpers. So can you tell us more about what you mean by delivering happiness, or why is happiness so integral to your business?
Well, even the name Happy Helpers, I think we thought about it because you can't do this or you can't do something if you're not happy about it. I think it's really just that very basic. In fact, in our values, number 1 is positibong disposition or positive disposition. That's our number 1 company value. And it's, you need to be happy in order to make someone happy. No? So when we enter our clients' homes, no matter how clean the place is, like after the job, no matter how clean the place is, if the disposition or the attitude of the happy helper that came in is masungit or nakakunot yung noo or hindi nagsasalita or pabalang yung, how do you say that? Pabalang sumagot. How do you say that in English? Basta yung hindi maayos ang pagsagot. Most definitely will get a negative review.
Okay.
The client will not be satisfied. She will nitpick, or our client will nitpick on something just because the attitude of the happy helper is not positive, is not happy.
Yeah.
So parang you have to, doon ka kailangan magsimula eh. And that also means we can't force anyone to do this job. Meaning, kung masama sa loob mong maglinis, kung masama sa loob mo gawin itong trabahong ito, if you're not happy doing it, we don't want you to do it. No? Parang, because spreading positivity also helps others. No? That's how we help our clients. When we enter the homes, we say, happy morning! Yun yung unang greeting palagi namin, happy morning. Kasi when you say it, it becomes true, diba? It becomes the whole disposition of everything. So we're unmessing people's lives delivered with happiness because we love what we do. We actually like what we do. We actually like cleaning as a hobby, as a pastime.
So we can learn a lot of cleaning tips from you as well.
Yeah, actually, if you want to learn, and this is serious, my partner, Joe and Daya, had a live webinar with Scotch-Brite last week. So it's on Scotch-Brite's Facebook page. We shared a lot of cleaning tips on how Happy Helpers does cleaning. Actually, it's on Scotch-Brite's Facebook page.
Yeah.
They did that last week.
I think we should do more of that, especially now that everybody is stuck in their homes. Like me, I was sharing with you a while ago, like because of the quarantine, I'm stuck in my condo and I can't stand. It came to a point that I couldn't stand my floor, that I had to scrub it myself.
Yeah.
And usually, I would ask, let's say, Happy Helpers to go and come clean, but because of the quarantine, right? It's close to impossible to have people to come over. But I can't stand my surroundings, but I really had to do it. And I need more tips on cleaning. Yeah, and also clean the bathroom and all those things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want me to share a few tips now, I can
Okay.
tell
Sige,
you.
if ever like, sige, mga, yeah, if you have like top 3 tips, like
Ay,
anyone here listening right now or watching now can do.
okay, the first number one tip that we always tell everyone is one is clean as you go. No, so when you, let's say when you're cooking or even after taking a shower, clean as you go. Meaning, for example, and this one is a big problem in the bathroom. You know how molds build up on your tile grout, or you have
Yes.
water stains on your shower. One way to keep your shower clean is to dry it after you shower. Just a few wipes. So always
Uh-huh.
have a towel, dry towel or dry basahan in
Mhm.
your bathroom after you shower. Just quickly wipe down the tiles or your glass to prevent those water stains. Um,
Okay.
from my experience when we were living abroad, I tried those. Meron kasing parang you spray on the wall to prevent that water stain. It doesn't
Yes.
really help that much. It does, but
Okay.
not that much. Drying is still the most effective way to prevent mold and mildew build up in your bathroom. The same goes for your kitchen after cooking. No, don't let your dishes pile up, or don't let you know those halimbawa, when you're like when you're chopping vegetables, you put things in one place or another. You just, when you're done with a particular task, clean up. Always clean up, put aside, put in the sink, so it's easy, so things don't pile up and things don't accumulate to the point where hindi ko na kaya.
Mhm.
To the point where you have to be on the
Sobrang guilty
ground,
ako
diba?
dyan,
Oo.
letting the dishes pile up.
Okay lang naman as long as they're organized there. Or when you do have your dishes piled up, make sure they're soaked in water
Okay.
para hindi siya mag-dry
Yeah.
up at mas mahirap
Uh-huh.
i-scrub. That's
Linisin.
once. Yeah. And the second tip that I can give is always have a place for everything.
Okay.
When we were living on our own, my husband, that I think that's the my husband is more OC than I am. So the one of the biggest lessons for me when we were living abroad. It was my first time, no? Na parang wala kaming helper, so ako lang. Because my husband was always telling me, have a place for everything. That's why you're having a hard time. Have a place for everything. So always have a place for your keys, for your wallet, have a place for your bills. Like, when you get your paper bills, you put them in one corner and in another corner next. So always have a place for everything. So that one, it's easy for you to find things. And
Yeah.
second, things don't pile up. No, things
Yeah.
don't pile up. So, like for example, with paper, when you have an accumulation of paper, don't just put them in one pile, and then all of a sudden this pile, will definitely build up. When you have to throw something, just throw it right away. When you know it's not something that you need to file later on, tapon mo na. No,
Mm-mm.
the
Mm-mm.
trash can is also a place where you
Uh,
can put things so that they
yeah.
don't pile up already.
I actually practice that, yung having a place for everything, or at least for me, like I have a place for at least almost everything in my house, so that when I try to look for it, it's easy for me to find it. And then when I use something, I put it back there. And then one
Yes,
good thing
exactly.
then what this whole lockdown has helped me with is cleaning up. So parang there are a lot of papers from, uh, bills and other like loose paper lying around. I took one afternoon, I sat down and I sorted everything out. And those that I don't need, I put it I put it in the recycling box.
Yeah,
Tapos
yeah,
yun,
yeah, yeah.
ready na ako for that recycling. And it really did unclutter my desk space.
Yeah.
So
But
super helpful
that's
niya.
the thing. Wag mo na siyang paubutin into a pile that you have to allocate an entire afternoon. I think that's, and for
Mhm.
some people, you don't have, you don't have the luxury of an
Yeah,
afternoon to
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 do
to
it.
do that, diba? Sometimes. So before even putting it in the pile, sort it na so that you
Already.
know that that pile contains only important documents, diba?
Mhm. Mhm.
Wala nang
Yeah.
itatapon, wala nang
Right.
i-recycle.
Okay. Yeah, good idea. Nagawa ko lang yun because of the crisis. So actually, because
Ikaw
of
walang
that,
crisis.
okay, I'm stuck home and alam mo yun, okay, I have to deal with this pile of
Yeah,
paper or like
yeah,
all these clutter in my house. So speaking of the crisis, of course, we're in a crisis, COVID, lockdown. How has your social enterprise, Happy Helpers, how are you affected by this crisis? And has it changed any of your businesses and services, if at all?
Hello, can you
Hi,
hear
Ran. Are
me?
you still there? Yeah. We, yeah.
Um, we were yeah, I got your question. We were greatly affected by the whole with this crisis, with the lockdown. We've been closed. We were closed from March 16 to May 15. So buti na lang that our business was listed as part of the businesses allowed to operate under ECQ or MECQ.
Mhm.
It was recently amended, and our business was already part of those that can operate during this whole ECQ. So it was very hard, not just for our business, but our primary concern as soon as the lockdown happened wasn't our business, but it was more of our beneficiaries,
Mm.
because they get paid when they have a job.
Okay.
If they're not gonna have any jobs, then wala rin silang source of income. So that was really our primary concern at the start of the lockdown. So immediately, the first activity that we did was to ensure that we have funds for them, so that we can give them weekly allowances for the entire duration of the quarantine.
Yeah.
We've been lucky because it was easy for us to execute, as they all have ATMs. So we were able to give them ATMs mid last year. So it's, kumbaga, yung execution, hindi kailangan goods, which was hard at the
Mhm.
beginning of
Mhm.
the quarantine. So we were able to give them weekly financial allowance, so they can at least buy some food. Kasi the government assistance will really not reach them on time. No?
Right.
So even though we were on lockdown, we made sure that we were in touch with them through Messenger. Kasi libre yung Messenger, di ba?
Messenger.
So Facebook Messenger, yeah. So since most of them have Facebook Messenger, we kept tabs on each and every one of them, where they are, how they've been doing, how their life has been. So for 9 weeks, we were able to give them a weekly allowance, so that they can at least have something, on the table. Because a lot of them, their husbands don't have work as well. Kasi a lot of
Mhm.
them, jeepney driver, taxi driver, na arawan din yung bayad, at walang public transportation pa, diba? So they can't even work. So that greatly helped. But for us as a business, we had to settle that. We had
Yeah.
to ensure that was settled
Taken care
before
of.
we moved on to ourselves, to our
Correct.
own business. Kasi mas that for us is a bigger problem.
Correct.
And then we turn to look at ourselves. How do we, the keywords during this lockdown is pivot, di ba? Ano pa ba? New
Yeah.
normal, pivot, lahat
How
maririnig mo
can we
in every
adapt to this
webinar.
new normal?
Yeah. So those keywords, syempre, you have to think about it. You can't just ignore it. How do we pivot? How do we adjust to the new normal? So even during this lockdown, we've been quite busy. Kasi syempre, we need to understand what changes do we need to do in our services, in terms of not just the products that we offer, but how we deliver these services, because of social distancing, safety, not just of our clients, but also, of course, of our happy helpers. So everyone's safety. Every week, we have a team meeting, and every week, it's a new plan.
Yeah.
Parang bago. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Parang
The
as you
last,
go.
as you go talaga, anong sasabihin today, ano mangyayari bukas. Because what we knew March 16 is different. No, now May 27 is very different. But one thing that we did was really start offering disinfection services as well, sanitation services. But it was easier for us to, kumbaga, adjust that way because we were already offering them to begin with. We just had to add a few more services that we felt that were significant now, like fogging disinfection, steam cleaning, things that people need more now than 3 months ago, for example.
Yeah.
If we had those services 3 months ago, nobody will
nobody will get that
right.
service.
But now it's it's the first thing that they ask when they call us. So we had to prepare for that. We had to prepare for those things. The other thing, which will segue now, the other thing that we were lucky to actually have, before the end of last year, we actually launched started to have our own cleaning solutions. So when we started it last November, December, we didn't, because we were much more focused on our services, we really didn't market it as much.
Mhm.
It's the same products that we used to clean the homes. Now it's available for us to sell. No?
Mhm.
So I'll
So
show you.
so one of the things that you are, parang kumbaga, this pandemic crisis has brought about is also products. Well, you did have your products before, but now it's more relevant, or
Yes.
it becomes more useful for people because, Happy Helpers isn't there. I mean, like, as far as the lockdown ECQ is concerned, you can't be available. But now with these new products that you have now, people can start using your products to clean their homes. Right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
can you
yes.
tell us more about that?
So Happy Helpers can be in your home even if we're not there, kumbaga.
Mhm.
Right. So
So,
so our Happy Helpers cleaning solutions comes in 5 different variants. We have an all-purpose cleaner, a bathroom cleaner, a glass cleaner, dishwashing liquid, and a liquid hand soap.
okay.
So all of our products are all natural. They are made from fruit and vegetable enzymes. They have natural disinfecting properties. What does that mean? So yung cleaning solutions namin, they don't just clean, but they also disinfect at the same time. So what we, of course, we had to understand, how dati kasi we took it for granted na parang we're quite confident in our own cleaning because we know that our products can clean and disinfect at the same time. But further research, because of the crisis that we're experiencing right now, it's important for us to ensure that the surface is clean before we even disinfect it. So hindi enough na, halimbawa, you're on your table and lalagyan mo lang siya ng alcohol, okay ka na. No? So you need to ensure that your space is clean. So you need to wipe it clean before you disinfect it. But the nice thing about the products that we have is it does it at the same time because they are all natural. They have all natural ingredients. They have disinfecting properties within them that can clean and disinfect your surface. So one-step process na lang siya, imbes na dalawa, kumbaga.
Time. You gave me an all-purpose cleaner.
Yes.
Last Christmas, and I've been using it. And knowing that, for me personally, what I like about it, knowing that it's all natural and it's non-toxic. When you told me that, mas naging kampante ako. I was like, medyo takot ako sa mga toxic eh. So like when I knew that it was toxic, not just like toxic chemicals, toxic people. but really, when I found out about it, it's okay, all-purpose cleaner, it's all natural. I have been using that all-purpose cleaner in my countertops, like in my kitchen, like very
Mm.
deliberately and generously, because I'm not scared that I'll be,
Yes,
poisoned. Like if I say
yes,
prepare,
yes.
I prep my what do you call this,
Food.
my food for dinner, ganyan.
Mm,
Like
mm,
I'm so not scared of having it
mm,
contaminated with something
mm,
toxic.
mm,
So
mm,
like
mm.
when I clean it up before and after I use the kitchen, like okay lang, sige, just spray it on.
Yeah,
Kasi ano
yeah.
naman yan, all natural naman yan.
No,
But yeah,
the-
so that's what's nice about it.
and it's very important kasi um, even for us in our own for our own use as happy helpers, kasi if you continuously use chemicals for your cleaning solutions, for your cleaning materials, it's harmful for the cleaner themselves.
Mm,
There's a study that it's even more harmful than cigarette smoke. Basically,
okay.
parang ganun yung effect niya. So, may effect siya sa lungs and
Uh-huh.
health nung naglilinis. So, even for
Naglilinis.
us, when we started this business, it was very important for us that our cleaners are safe as well.
Safe, the
And
safety of
even
your cleaners.
and even the safety of our own cleaners are very important. And also the safety and health of our clients. Kasi syempre, a
Mhm.
lot of them are asking, are your cleaning solutions safe for pets,
Yeah.
safe for
Mhm.
children? Kasi
Yeah.
we're talking about moms taking care of their homes, diba? So a lot of them have crawling kids on the floor. So you don't
Yeah.
want to mop something on the floor that would
Yeah.
possibly harm the baby, or they have dogs or cats that sometimes lick the floor or lick the
Yeah.
table. You don't want to expose them to something that are all chemical based. At hindi lang yun, syempre, for us, takot din kami to use chemicals kasi paano kung, it might stain or it might ruin the surface of whatever material that we're cleaning, diba? So it had to be something that was safe. So now we're offering it to, it's not just for us, it's for you to take home as well.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of, Happy Helpers is one of the brands that are part of our initiative at the Spark Project called Spark Bayanihan. So we started Spark Bayanihan as a way for us to respond to COVID and helping our network of social enterprises, creative enterprises, survive and recover during this time. And Happy Helpers is one of the brands that is part of this initiative, Spark Bayanihan initiative. And yeah, actually, for Maan, I'd like to ask, like, can you tell us more about the campaign? I know that in your campaign you are offering or you are launching also your cleaning products in that
Yes.
crowdfunding campaign. But more than that, can you tell me? Can you share with us the spirit? The spirit behind that crowdfunding campaign.
Okay, so no, but yes. So other than launching our products, one of the main beneficiaries of this project is really for us to have to build an emergency fund for our happy helpers. It's, I think, one thing that the crisis has taught us is that we have to be prepared. We know they don't have savings. We know that they
Mhm.
will need help at some point. And as a company, as a social enterprise, we need to be prepared for any, with this crisis that has taught us, we need to be prepared for something as extreme as this. So hopefully in the future, we won't have any more as big of a
Mhm.
crisis as this. But each of the families of our happy helpers can have a big crisis or emergency, and that's something that we want to build with the proceeds of the funds of this project, is to really build an emergency fund for our own happy helpers. If one of their families gets sick, if one of them gets into deep trouble, something that a fund that can help them or ease their burden when it happens to them.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
be, sorry, go.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
And also as a company, we, it will be hard for us to start again It will be a
Mhm.
slow start. We're never going to back. We're never going back to normal, no,
Mhm.
anytime
Mhm.
soon. Um, so we know that the demand for our service is there, but in terms of pace of business, we know we are expecting it to be slower. So we'd like to ensure that we have enough funds as well to sustain our own business. No, parang it's not, as a social enterprise, it's not a matter of parang hindi ko na kaya, let's close the business.
Yeah.
'Di ba?
Yeah.
You're now talking about we're responsible for 60 families. So
Mhm.
how do we do that? We can't just say ayoko na kasi wala na tayong pera, or tama na, itigil na
Mhm.
natin to. So we have
Mhm.
to find ways to really move from the crisis that we've been experiencing. So this crowdfunding will definitely help our business as well.
Mhm. Yeah, actually, it's really a reality for a lot of small, micro and small businesses, local businesses here in the Philippines. Not just small businesses, but even more so,
Individuals.
social
Mhm.
enterprises, individuals, and um, it's shedding some light into that. No, na um, small businesses also are affected greatly during this crisis. And I think also moving forward, um, social enterprises, I think, is something that is very relevant today. Or like,
Yes.
as we move forward, like in this new normal, alam mo ko, gas-gas na yung word na yun,
Oh,
pero like in this new normal, parang, I think for me, I hope there will be more of an emergence of social businesses, social enterprises after this, because a lot of realities and a lot of realities have been also parang unearthed. A lot of
yes.
messy things have been unearthed
Yes.
because of this
Yes.
crisis, and there are a lot of things that can be solved, or like that needs solving, that needs cleaning, that needs help. The
Yes.
vulnerable sectors of our society can really use a helping hand from entrepreneurs like us, like you and me. So um, what do you think about this movement, or what do you think about social enterprises playing a more crucial role as we move forward in the next months, and after COVID?
I I would like to be. I think that's the
Mhm.
first sentence
Mhm.
that I would like to be optimistic and say that yes, there should be, or there would be, an emergence of new social entrepreneurs that will come about following this crisis, because we can see and we understand and we know that a lot of people have lost their jobs, a lot of people have lost employment, or even lost their own businesses. And I think the bayanihan spirit, like,
Mhm.
the spark
Yeah.
bayanihan, I think the bayanihan spirit has been high this crisis
Mhm.
season. So I would like to be optimistic and say that it will continue on, not just in donations or giving, but also in the way you're running your
Like
enterprise. No, it's
how
not
people do
because
business.
yeah, that it will translate into how people do business, because you understand and know now that it's not just about you anymore. No, when you go out, it's not just about you wearing a mask is because you want to protect others. So for me, I hope it really translates to every aspect of a person's life. Now, I'm doing this because I want to help others. We know that thousands of OFWs are coming back to the Philippines in the next few weeks, in the next few months. So we also know that there will be a lot of people looking for jobs. So yun nga, sana dumami pa, ang ma-inspire at mabuong social enterprises at social entrepreneurs, because that's what our country needs right now.
Okay, for our last question, for anyone for those that are watching right now, or who will be watching this recording, what would be your advice for any aspiring social entrepreneur? What would be your advice to them as they contemplate or consider starting a social business?
Okay. I think two things. No, first is it has to be a viable enterprise. I think like what our professor has always said us, it is the noun is enterprise, social is the adjective. So first, it has to be a viable business. It has to be something that will make money. No, when you try to think about an opportunity or a business that you want to venture on, first is that it has to be a viable business, something that you're passionate about and something that you can relate to. Then it becomes easier for you to make it social. Meaning, if you're passionate about it, if you can relate to it, then when the going gets tough, especially as a social enterprise, when it becomes really, really hard, then because you're passionate about the business and about the people you're helping, it becomes easier in that aspect. No, so I will borrow the advice of our professor for to advise others. So one is the enterprise is the noun, social is an adjective.
Adjective.
So ensure that it's a sustainable business. Treat it as a business. Treat it as a business so that it will become sustainable and mas long-term siya. Hindi siya dapat charity lang.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree. And that, that ends that's all the time we have. Ang bilis.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maan, for being part of Spark Conversations this afternoon. And I hope everybody who are watching this found our conversation this afternoon insightful and meaningful. Don't forget to support local enterprises, including Happy Helpers, and also support their crowdfunding campaign now running at thesparkproject.com. By helping Happy Helpers, you get to help also the nanays that they are serving and that they're looking after. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time, and thank you to everyone. And thank you for spending the hour with us. And see you in our next Spark Conversations. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.